Apple Motion is an incredible companion app to Final Cut Pro. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 different ways you can use Motion to make Final Cut Pro so much better. Number 1 on this list is to add a 3D transform tool. You'll notice in Final Cut, when we use the transform tool, I have the ability to move this on the X and Y axis, and I can also rotate it on the Z axis. But what if I want additional degrees of rotation on both the X and Y axis? And what if I want to push everything back in 3D space on the Z axis? That's where the 3D transform tool is super handy. First, open up Motion, then select the Final Cut effect. From there, we'll push open. After that, we'll come to our text tool, and clicking this down arrow, we can select 3D text. From there, we're just going to click and drag to create a large selectable space. Then head on over to your inspector, go to your properties, and find the position parameter. Right-click on it and select Reset Parameter so everything is found at 0, 0. Next, you want to come down to the opacity and just drag that down to 0% so it's completely invisible. Let's rename this to be 3D Controls just for clarity's sake. Then after that, we're going to select our effect source. We'll go up to Behaviors, and we're going to go to Camera and select Framing. From there, we can drag our 3D controls into this framing window and drag the position and rotation transition times down to 0. Now, if we select our 3D controls and switch over to the 3D controller object, you'll notice I can rotate this object in 3D space. From there, we just need to push Command S to save and call it whatever you like. We'll go to our categories and drop it into a category of our choosing. I'll put it in my favorites and push Publish. Back in Final Cut Pro, we can simply go to our favorites, locate that 3D transform tool, and drop it here as an effect. From there, you'll notice I can mouse over my object and I can rotate this object in 3D space directly inside of Final Cut Pro. We can also click and drag on the Z axis to move it back and forth. The second way you can use Motion to powerfully upgrade Final Cut Pro is by adding a clone stamp tool. Let's say, for example, I wanted to remove this bird from the shot. Well, Final Cut Pro by default doesn't have any sort of clone stamping tool, but Motion can make it super easy. Once again, I've opened up an Apple Motion effect. From there, we're going to find this effect source and come over to the position parameters, right-click, and select Publish. From there, we can save this as clone stamp, and we can go on over into whatever category we like. I'll throw it into favorites and push Publish. Now that we've done that, we can simply come on over to our effects, look up the clone stamp in our favorites, and apply it as an effect. From there, go to the top right corner and select either a shape mask or I'll use the magnetic mask. From there, we'll create a selection and press Analyze. After that, we can push Done. Then we can slightly feather it and make adjustments on the X and Y axis until we've removed the bird. Let's go ahead and play back and see how that looks. So while it's not 100% perfect all the time, this can absolutely save you in a pinch. The third way you can use Motion to make Final Cut Pro so much better is by saving title presets. For example, with my plugin ProZooms, which is title-based, you can simply click and drag down here on the timeline, and we would scroll through, and maybe we specifically always want to have the grid effect, we want to have the lens warp, chromatic aberration, and everything else that's possible with this particular plugin. But the problem is every single time we apply this down on the timeline, we're going to make those same changes. So if you want to save yourself the hassle, you can simply right-click on any title you have up here inside of your browser, then select Open in Motion. Here in Motion, you'll simply go to the very top of the layer browser, and at the top here is the actual project. Clicking on that, then going to the inspector, you should see all of the exact same settings you see in Final Cut Pro, but they're here in Motion. And any changes you make to this preset here will be saved and used as the default over in Final Cut Pro. So you could very simply come in and add the grid and the lens warping and the chromatic aberration, and those settings will always be on by default as long as you save this as a preset. When you push Command S to save, it will ask if you want to save as a duplicate or save as an original. That's completely up to you. For this tutorial, I'll save it as a duplicate, and I can throw it into any new category I like, for example, into my favorites. Now from there, we'll just jump on up to my favorites, and we can see my Zoom Rig Bro preset is applied here. And zooming in, you'll notice that it already has the grid applied, it has the chromatic aberration, and everything else that I checked over inside of Motion. Really quick, if this video has been helpful to you, consider subscribing and helping me reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers. That would mean so much to me, and that's obviously only possible with your help. The next way you can use Motion to make Final Cut Pro so much better is by creating various templates, and in this example, I'll show you how to create an animated background. For this, let's select the Final Cut generator and push Open from the project browser. After that, we'll jump on over into our generators and locate the gradient. I'll apply that into my layers. Then from there, we can come down to our arrow tool, select Adjust Item, and I'm just going to click and drag these 2 points so that we can have a nice clear gradient across the screen. After that, we'll jump over to the inspector, and we could choose one of these different presets given to us by Motion. So for this one, I'm going to select Icy Blue. After that, let's go ahead and select our shape tool. We'll click the down arrow and get the circle tool. Then I'm going to create a small, simple circle. From there, we can come up to the top right corner, get our replicator, and let's just drag this replicator box out over the size of our entire project. Then going over to the left side, we can adjust the amount of columns and rows to our liking. So you could create a very nice looking grid right here inside of Motion. Next, let's adjust the scale to get these dots looking quite a bit smaller. And lastly, we'll go to our properties, and I just want to make sure that the position is directly centered up. We can also come down here to the blend mode and change this over to an overlay blend mode, and I'm really liking how that looks. Now this background on its own is looking pretty good, but it doesn't have a whole lot of motion to it. So to change that, let's select our replicator. We'll go up to Filters, we'll go down to Distortion, and we're going to select Underwater. From there, let's dial in all these settings to a place we like. For example, I'm going to adjust our refraction to be at a value of 10, and that's looking a little better. Maybe we'll slow down the speed to 0.1, and we could even increase the size a bit. So we just have a nice subtle movement across these different dots, but without it looking absolutely crazy. We could also go to our gradient, go to Filters, go down to Stylize, and select Add Noise. Then let's change this over to a blend mode of Overlay. And so now we have a bit of grain going on in the background as well. From there, I can push Command S to save, and we can just call this background, throw it into whatever category we like. And back here in Final Cut Pro, you can see I can go to my favorites category, and here's that brand new background. And this is going to retain all of the animations we've applied, including the noise texture. And then if you decided you were not happy with these changes, or maybe you want to further change these in the future, you can always go back over to Motion, locate a value that you want to change. So for example, maybe the color on this generator. We can go to the generator tab, right click on the gradient and push publish. And now we have the ability to change this color directly in Final Cut Pro as long as we save it. So I'll just simply re-drag this background down on the timeline, and you'll see I have access to these generator settings, and we can change these colors as much as we want. And the last tip for this video to use Motion to make Final Cut Pro so much better is to add smooth animation tools. Here in the project browser, I'm again going to select the Final Cut effect and push Open. After that, you're simply going to come over to your effect source, go to Inspector, go to Properties, and find the position parameter. Right click on it and then select Add Parameter Behavior, and then select Average. The average parameter behavior is going to look at multiple keyframes that you've added over in Final Cut Pro, and it's going to smooth them out. So it will create the average curve of those keyframes. You can set this window size to whatever you like. I'll just leave it at a value of 10. If you want to change this in Final Cut, simply come over to the right side, down arrow, and push Publish. Let's also do this for the rotation though. I'll come to the effect source, find the rotation parameter, right click, add parameter behavior, and select average. And so now both the rotation and the position will be smoothed out. We can also publish that average window size as well. Lastly, we want to make sure we have access to these controls. So we can right click, select publish on the position, and right click and push publish on the rotation. I know somebody's going to be asking me in the comments, can we apply this average parameter directly onto the 3D transform tools we've added? And unfortunately, no, you cannot. For whatever reason, you're unable to animate the 3D transform tool we created at the beginning of this video. So I know that's kind of annoying. There are sort of workarounds, but that is a much more in-depth video. Now that we've published those though, we can push Command S to save, and we can call this whatever we like. We'll just call it Smooth Animator. From there, we'll go to our categories and drop it into our favorites and push Publish. Back in Final Cut Pro, I'll use Pro Shapes to add in this nice star, push Option G to throw it into a compound clip, and from there we'll see Smooth Animator. Next, we'll just come up here and add a keyframe to both the position and rotation, move forward, and we can adjust these values to get them to move around on the screen. And now that I have those keyframes in place, I can adjust the level of smoothness using these different sliders. And let's push play, and you'll see how dynamic that animation looks without needing to work with curves. Or you can also drag these values all the way to 0 and have a much more linear animation. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me for this video. With that being said, I cannot wait to see you in the next one.